And yes, thank you very much for being with us today. And we are really curious about your one-stop shop. So I'll continue accepting participants. And now it's your turn.
Yes. Okay.
Thank
you. I have you on the presentation on the screen above my only screen. So sometimes I maybe look a little bit upwards, but that's because I'm very much invested in this meeting, but I sometimes need to look at my screen. Welcome everybody. I'm super happy to be here and talk a little bit about the Groene Grachten, which is a really Dutch name, so I will call it DGG. So that's a little bit helps with the it roughly translates as green canals, and we are named after our first project, which was almost 15 years ago, 14 years ago, when we started renovating a row of 6 canal houses in the city of Amsterdam, in the city center, with the thought, well, if we start by renovating, sustainably transforming these historic buildings that are ages, centuries old, then we can, if it can be done there, we can show the world that it can be done everywhere. If we take the most hard buildings to start with, we can show it can be done everywhere. So everybody can be more sustainable or transform their buildings, which is still our mission. But we are not only focused on helping owners transform their historic building, but also more transforming historic areas, such as, for instance, the whole city center of an historic city. As for instance, Haarlem was already named, which is a city a little bit older than Amsterdam actually, and we're working together with partners looking for heat solutions that can really help for this historic city centers, for instance, to get transformed from natural gas to a more sustainable heating system. And you do it not only with building by building, but with a solution that helps all the buildings in at once. So this is our mission. I don't do it by myself. We have a team of 25 people from different backgrounds. Some of them are more have an expertise in building physics, others more in installation technique. But also we have people that are more have a degree in how do you say, more of the cultural side of the historic buildings, architectural side. We have some people that are in communications to tell our stories, to share our knowledge, or in IT. So it's a really diverse team in expertise, but with that, we can also really help people with an integral advice, for instance. So how do we do it? As I said, well, we are a kind of one-stop shop, but focused on the historic buildings and more precisely on especially monuments. And that starts, the customer journey starts with orienting, what can I do? But also, is there anything allowed? Can I transform? Can I put solar panels on my roof? Can I transform my building by applying insulation materials or anything like that? So we offer several digital platforms that people can use to help with their orientation. I will get into that a little bit more deeper today, because that's, I think, the scalable part to also more on the EU side. When people already know or that they want to pursue with their sustainable refurbishments, we can offer tailored advice. So the people that you just saw in the previous picture, the consultants will come by your home or your building, and they will help give you advice. And that can range from just a talk and looking at your building and just writing up a short memo, which is mostly done for residential houses where there is a little bit less budget, and people want to have a faster lane because they already maybe know some things already that they want to pursue, and they really want us to give a second opinion or confirm that their plans are really the right plans. But we can also offer more extensive reports. In the Netherlands, you have these guidelines that offer for three types of advice, which ranges from an energy scan to really extensive reports where you have to calculate all of the measures together, all the scenarios. And these are required, for instance, if you want to apply for a subsidy. So we offer these types of advices as well. And then you're talking about advisory reports that contain, for instance, 30 pages where we really do heat loss calculations, really calculate all the benefits, the energy reduction, the CO2 reduction, everything like that, really specific for this building and the use of the building. Based on the advice people can pursue with the next steps, and we can also help with these steps. That's more a service that we provide mostly to the business clients. So the residential homeowners are most of the time able to pursue with the next steps themselves. There is a subsidy in the Netherlands that provides for monuments a subsidy that they can hire us to help with applying for their permits. So we do it also for residential, but the demand for these services are mostly with our more business clients, for instance, schools, museums, theaters, but also offices, where the client asks us to help apply for the permit or find a contractor, or during the build phase, really do the project management on behalf of them, because we have the expertise that they sometimes lack, or they want us to secure the fact that all the sustainable refurbishments are also really integral part of a bigger renovation, and we need to make sure that the sustainable refurbishments aren't left out during the build phase because of budget costs or anything like that. So this is the one-stop shop services that we offer. Here you can see a range of the buildings that we offer these services to. So as you can see, it ranges from residential houses such as, for instance, a farmhouse in the Netherlands. Here you see it on the right below. But also from these smaller residential houses to bigger buildings, such as the Royal Theatre 𝐩𝐫𝐴, which is in Amsterdam. We designed a whole roadmap for this building, so really taking up several, actually, I think it goes up to 2040. So how to make this theater more sustainable, and we are now in the phase that we provide project management during each building phase. So it's also cut out into several steps. For instance, last year they renovated the facade, and which was also part of the roadmap, and we helped with the insulation of the windows, for instance. So that was actually the third step, and we're now in the preparation for the next phase. And then the left below you see KIT, where it says KIT. It's the Royal Tropical Institute. It's also behind me here, so you can see how big this building is. It's almost the second largest building in Amsterdam, the monument in Amsterdam. We have an office here together with a lot of other companies, so it's not just us there. There's a lot of companies that work on the sustainable development goals, and in that light, they had plans to become natural gas free in 2030. But in 2022, when the IPCC report came, they said, well, we need to move faster. So they actually took out their natural gas boiler already in 2023. And with that, the natural gas reduction is the same as transforming a whole residential neighborhood. So that's a really big impact that we're talking about. So yeah, these are to give you an idea of the monuments that we're working on. Also a lot of museums, as I said, but also, of course, we're in the Netherlands. We have some mills that we're helping. What we see as a big change for the last year that we set and based our strategy from last year and also the next coming years is that when we started, a lot of these owners, our clients, had came to us with questions like, what can I do? I need an overview of all the possible measures with their costs and investments and everything. That it was really on the what, and now we see that they are more on the how. So now people come to us, I want to insulate my roof. I have a moist problem in the top corner of my roof, but you need to help me figure out which material to use, which contractor to use, help me, guide me. So it's more about confirming their plans and also helping from an idea, getting them to really implementing the work. So this is has already have an impact on our organization as well. For instance, before we had two teams. One was more on the advisory side, one was more on the project management side. But now we switched them, and now they are two teams that contain both expertises. So they have consultants, the advisory consultants, but also project managers that are together in one team. So we can make the customer journey a little bit more easy for them. And during projects, they can already work both on the same project. So a lot of these projects, we have done a lot of projects, and from the beginning, it was our mission also to share the knowledge that we're doing, that we're gaining in these projects. So our first project led us to design and develop the green menu for Amsterdam. Then Maastricht and 𝐩𝐫𝐿, two other municipalities in the Netherlands, said, well, we are very interested in this. We want to have it also, and so we developed it further. I think 6 years ago we designed one database where we collect all the knowledge from our side, but also municipalities can put in their knowledge as well. And this database is one centralized platform that we can connect other platforms to, such as the Green Menu and Self-Scan, and it allowed us to scale from 10 municipalities that we work with to up almost 60 municipalities now. What that means, I will show you later. But yeah, so this green menu is really the starting point. It offers some kind of orientation where you can click through over 100 measures that you can see what are the implications for my monuments, what can I do, what are the next steps to pursue these measures. And we offer also, for instance, news articles about subsidies that are new or anything like that. It allowed us also, the new database, to scale to form multiple building types. So it's not only residential houses, but it's also churches, museums, theaters, but elm houses, farmhouses, villas. It's a really wide range. And then when you go to the green menu, you can see the explanation of the technical measures. So for instance, here it explains what solar panels are, how they work. It's summarized in cost, in the benefits and challenges. For instance, a challenge for monuments can be that it's not allowed to be visible from the street level. So these are the challenges that you need to consider. And in the Netherlands, it's for monuments, each municipality has their own regulations. So for instance, sometimes in Amsterdam, you can't place solar panels if they are visible from the street level. But in another municipality, the rule can be that you can't place solar panels on a roof if it's visible from a church tower. So then it's a whole different situation. So if you look at the green menu in Amsterdam, you will see different regulations than you would see if you were, for instance, go to Zwolle or the 𝐩𝐫𝐿 version. So the information that we're showing is really depending on the municipality that you selected, but also on the building type that you selected. For instance, if you go to theaters, you will see information not only about LED lighting, but also about LED theater lighting, which we won't show in a residential situation. So it's really tailored to the building type, but also the location of where you are. And then the same goes not only for the technical information, but for the regulations, but also for the subsidies and grants, because sometimes municipalities have their own subsidies. And the same goes for the best practices. So here you see best practices for museums and theaters, which we won't show on the residential version. There we have the best practices from other residents, but also from the municipality that is applicable, that somebody selected. So this is the green menu, but as I said, and as I showed you, there's a lot of information, and not everybody likes clicking through 100 measures and really having to select a lot of measures themselves. So for the ones that really need some more guidance or want to be taken by the hand a little bit more, there we offer the self-scan, which for which they answer 15 questions about their energy use, but also about their building. For instance, is their roof already insulated or not, or is it medium? Do they know if they have natural gas heating, or is it already with a heat pump? So we and then we offer a list of measures that can be interested for them in their situation, and then they can make a selection using calculation tools. They are offered some information, but also with calculation tools. They can, for instance, say, well, I have 10 windows, or I have a roof surface that's 60 square meters. And then they can see what the impact is on the cost, but also on the CO2 reduction and also their energy use reduction. So with that, they can make a choice. And in the Netherlands, they can download a PDF report, and also are offered the next step, which is hiring a consultant that comes by your house and helps you with the making of the plan further along. So with further steps. This is the Netherlands version, which also gives us interesting data, because we know now for the already 30,000 people in the Netherlands have done this self-scan, which is considered that there are 140,000 monuments in the Netherlands. And if you see, well, 30,000 of them have already done the self-scan. That's really a good number. We can see, okay, for these 30,000 people that already did it, what is the situation? What is the current installation level? How many people already have solar panels, but also how many are interested in solar panels and how many are interested in heat pumps? And this offers not only insights for us that are valuable, but also for policymakers, the municipalities that are partners in this platform as well. So they know now that because of policy regulations, there's in the Netherlands, there's a big debate about some of the financing schemes around solar panels. And because this debate is still going on, we see that the interest is decreasing in the Netherlands for solar panels. So this is also interesting information for them as policymakers, and also if they want to influence or have a more active role in the communications, then this is valuable information. Well, these are just the platforms that we have here in the Netherlands, but we also decided to scale them to Spain, Portugal, and Italy during the HORIS project, which was already presented, but I just wanted to give a quick update because it's now online. And here you can see, for instance, the Italian version of the green menu, which can also, just like I said, in the Netherlands, we have these different versions for municipalities. It's also that we have different versions per country. Next to Spain, Italy, and Portugal, we also, for instance, have a version for Belgium, for Flanders. And then there's the version where you have the self-scan for these countries, but it's a little bit different because we work with a login there. So people really registered with their consumer ID. So we also have the opportunity there in these countries to really follow up on everybody that started the self-scan. And my final slide, I'm sorry, it always takes a little bit longer to already present than I expected. But then the big change that in the Netherlands, we don't offer this service, but in the European version, we offer also the opportunity to ask for a quote. So here people can, from the sales scan, can really connect to professional contractors, architects, and so on to really help them implement the work. So yeah, this I will move on to the questions.
Thank you very much, Tessel. I will just